Again, now SAMWU has called off its strike over working conditions at Rand Water pending an interdict. The entity is a major supplier to municipalities and industries here in Gauteng, the Northwest, Mpumalanga and the Free State. Well, eNCA's Govan Whittles is at the Labour Court in Johannesburg for us this morning. Let's find out from him what the actual issues are. Govan, good morning. For anybody who's not been following the story, I suppose just give us the gist of it. What's the issue?
At the core of this, Uveka, is a 14th check for SAMWU workers at Rand Water. And they want the 14th check because they believe that they've met their targets in terms of Rand Water's projections for the year. Rand Water, of course, saying that it's within its discretion to award that 14th check. It says it's already paid the salaries, it's paid them bonuses at the end of the financial year, and it's really up to the management to decide if it will pay the 14th check. The SAMWU members who are employees of Rand Water disagree. They believe they've earned that money and they want it to be paid. Rand Water, of course, providing an essential service, and its employees are designated as essential workers. So at any given time, there needs to be an 80% complement of staff at the utility. And even though some were going on strike, of course, Rand Water says it's an unprotected strike. SAMWU represents 60% of the workers and Rand Water, but the strike won't necessarily mean that 60% of Rand Water's employees won't be at work, and that's because of this designation of essential services. So there are a lot of things happening here, Uveka. At the core of it is this bonus, and Rand Water saying that any picket, any industrial action is unprotected. The workers are opening themselves up for disciplinary action because of it. And SAMWU, or rather Rand Water, is at the Labour Court this morning. It's here to apply for an interdict to prevent the strike from going ahead. That's because it believes you can't strike over a bonus issue, and if you want to resolve it, you should go to the CCMA. And it says that it already has a date with SAMWU for the 28th of April when it will be discussing this bonus issue at the CCMA. So Rand Water believes the strike is premature. SAMWU, of course, disagrees. Their leadership have just gone in. They'll be meeting with their attorneys, and the hearing is scheduled to start in a few minutes. But I was at Rand Water's headquarters in Glen Vista earlier this morning. I had a chance to speak to their spokesperson about what these issues are and what the implications of it are on Rand Water's services. Let's have a look at what he had to say.
May I appreciate that Rand Water is an essential service categorized organization. So we have measures in place to a great extent. All our employees are in their position of work. Work will continue. We don't anticipate any interruption in any of our services and production of water and pumping up to various municipal reservoirs and so on.
How many of your members are SAMWU members?
A little around 60% of our employees are members of SAMWU.
At this point, it appears as if Rand Water is applying for an interdict. Can you confirm if that's correct, and what is the current status of that?
We have applied for an interdict, and the matter is being heard at 10 o'clock this morning. And we will await the response or the judgment after that. And we're quite confident that this strike is unlawful, illegal, and it doesn't meet the minimum requirements, preconditions of a full withdrawal of labor or striking by any union.
Well, Governor, I suppose we have to ask now about both sides. What happens if Rand Water does not get that interdict? What happens if SAMWU members continue with their strike? What will be the impact? And then what if Rand Water does get its interdict? Surely it won't sit well with SAMWU members. What will be their next plan of action?
Yeah, let's begin with the first scenario. So Rand Water doesn't receive this interdict, then SAMWU is technically clear to go ahead. But with the strike, although it should be mentioned that at this point, SAMWU nor Rand Water have a certificate of non-resolution from the CCMA, which is crucial to the legality of the strike action. And it does appear at this point that they're correct in their assertion that the unprotected strike won't be protected by the LRA because they lack that certificate of non-resolution, and because they have a date of the 28th of April when this matter will be going for arbitration. Then the other scenario, which is more likely, is Rand Water securing the interdict. And the question really is what does it mean for the handful of SAMU members who are currently outside Rand Water's premises? In fact, they're on the premises just outside the gate, picketing there. And the managers say that they won't consider those workers to be in violation of the interdict because there needs to be a grace period of at least one day where they can be informed that returning to the site would be in violation of the interdict. But either way, if SAMU goes on strike, Rand Water doesn't anticipate that it will cause major disruptions to the different municipalities that it supplies. It says this because it's confident that its declaration or designation as an essential service provider will prevent the majority of SAMU members from actually going on strike. We are due to speak to the leadership of SAMU. As I said, they're currently in that hearing. As soon as we get a gap, we'll have a chat to them, get some comments on record. But the people who are outside Rand Water's headquarters are intent on staying there, at least for the rest of the day.
All right, Govan Whittles, thanks very much. You keep your eye on proceedings there. We'll find out from you a little later on what has happened.